Right, this is Mark. Waiting, there's Jim Courier in the picture. Scotty. Well, another intriguing semi-final in prospect. I think the centre court's still a little stunned by the outcome of the first one. But now we wonder whether Jim Courier can make it the first All-American final since 1984, when John McEnroe beat Jimmy Connors in the most spectacular of fashions. We're going to have a contrast in styles in this match, of course, between Courier here and Stefan Edberg, because Edberg will come to the net at every opportunity, and Courier this year has been playing quite a lot from the back of the court. Nothing really to help us pick a possible winner in their head-to-head records of previous matches. As you can see, they're 4 apiece, but they've never played before on grass. But the interesting thing is the last 5 meetings between these two have all been in Grand Slam championships, and the last 3 have been in finals of Grand Slam championships. We have to go back to 1990 when they met in Indian Wells in the Californian desert. The last time they met in a tournament, not a Grand Slam. Mark, just looking at Stefan Edberg here, he's had a very comfortable passage to the semi-final. He's not played a seeded player. Do you think that's a slight disadvantage?
Well, he certainly come through this tournament in a very inconspicuous fashion for a player of his stature. I'm inclined to agree with what you say in that regard, that it would have perhaps been helpful for him to have been seriously tested, and his form, and evidence of it in the matches that he's played, is he hasn't as yet reached peak form. That's his progress to the... No, it isn't, that's Courier's. But he's come through this event in a very steady fashion, but yet, as I was saying, really I think finding the form that we saw from him when he won the title a couple of times some years ago. One of the great serve volleys, of course, but it's been his serve which has posed a few of the problems, a few little hitches in the swing. Loss of timing has caused a few double faults and quite a lot of service breaks against him.
Time, ready for play.
In the chair, Jerry Armstrong from East Dean in Sussex, the British official who's employed by the ATP Tour, a full-time official, and he's been in charge of a men's singles final a couple of years ago. Stefan Edberg.
Seat quickly, please. Thank you.
And Jim Courier, of course, playing in his first Wimbledon semi-final. Previous best performance, losing in the quarterfinals to Michael Stich in 1991.
Thank you. Seats quickly, please. Players are ready. Thank you. Quiet, please. First set, Courier to serve. Fifteen love. $30 love. $30-15. $40-15.
Well, those are the tactics I'm sure Edberg's going to employ, the chip and charge.
$40-30. Game Courier. First game.
Mark, last year, Jim Courier tried to serve and volley on the grass at Wimbledon and, of course, came out and stuck against the qualifier Andrei Olhovsky on this very court. This year, he's mixing his tactics up. Good tactics?
Well, he essentially is a player who enjoys playing from the back of the court, and he has a ferocious forehand, a forehand which creates all sorts of mayhem and problems for most players in the game, particularly on the slower surfaces. But obviously he cannot sustain a backcourt game throughout the entire tournament, and he's got to add variety to his play, and he does intersperse it with the odd volley. We saw a volley in the last game. Obviously, when you see him come to the net, he's not as natural as his opponent, Stefan Edberg. It's not the part of the court that he wants to play from. But because the courts this year and the weather has been so dry, the ball is bouncing so much higher, this is definitely allowing the players of ground stroke orientation a much fairer chance against the big serve volleyers like Stefan Edberg. And that is why he's come through this tournament so strongly.
Love 15. $15 all. First service. $30-15.
Well, Edberg elects to serve to the strength of Courier. High return, and there's the classic backhand volley.
$40-15. One game all.
Both men holding their opening service games with comparative ease.
$15 love. $30 love. 40 love.
Serve with deadly accuracy from 117 miles an hour.
Game Courier. Courier leads 2-1, first set.
So here's Jim Courier playing in his first Wimbledon semi-final, the 22-year-old who was born in Sanford in Florida and now has his home in Saddlebrook in Florida. World rank number 2, seated 3 behind Edberg, in deference to the Swede's grass court expertise. As you can see, Jim, a champion in Australia and at the French Open, a runner-up in the United States Open. So the one final he's yet to appear in is here at Wimbledon. And
time.
Stefan, of course, playing in his 6th semi-final at Wimbledon, and the champion in 88 and 89. I beg your pardon, 88 and 90, and the runner-up in 89.
Fifteen love.
Dangerous shot. The forehand from Courier just whips that ball across the front of Edberg.
$15-30.
Not a very confident Edberg. There's a mishit, and that was a mishit too, but it landed in. That brings the score to 30-all. Edberg's favourite shot, backhand volley, which he plays better than any other player in the game. Gets him out of a bit of trouble there because it was a good return and he read it well. Not quite wide enough, this serve. Courier hardly has to move, and that backhand, really, he found a super angle with that. Not enough power on the return. And that volley there forces Jim Courier way out of court. His only chance was to put up the lob.
First service. Game Edberg. Two games all.
Hastily gets into the net behind a powerful serve there. The volley is deep, but didn't really bite into the court. Doesn't quite have the same penetration on his volleys as Edberg.
Lovely length on that approach shot from Edberg, forcing Courier to play the half volley from the baseline. Good slice backhand at the feet of Courier there. He really had to stretch. Well, he had a real chance there. Excellent return again, and he had a mid-court ball, but he got rather tucked up on this backhand. Here's the great return. Courier forced to play that very early, and Edberg's, whose backhand is normally so good, it just bounced a little bit higher than he expected. Well, Courier waiting for the opportunity to get into the net, which he's able to do this after the superb approach, but look at this shot. Really ill at ease on that one.
Advantage Courier.
Both players doing a little bit of digging here. The ball bouncing quite low. He's into the net. Now that's a low bounce. Look how low that created the problem for Courier. And the opportunity for Edberg. Smashes that ball away.
Advantage Edberg.
It's the Swede then that has the first break point of the match.
Juice.
Well, a little bit unlucky here for Edberg. This is a good approach shot just inside the baseline. Look at the angle. It just drifts wide. I don't think Courier could have done much about that. So that's a break point saved.
Delicacy.
These are the tactics that Edberg would like to employ. The chip and charge, get into the net where he is in the commanding position. A little angle volley, taking the speed off the ball. Placement is what counts.
Just wide. Courier doesn't like the call.
Well, this was an excellent rally, and Edberg employing the tactics that he clearly wants to, and that's the get into the net behind the slice backhand down the line. Up goes the lob. Now this is the point of contention. Now was that ball in or out? It's possible to tell on the replay from here, but Edberg was emphatic. He certainly moved to the net very quickly, and he's one of the finest sportsmen in the game. I can't imagine in his mind he was absolutely clear the ball was out, and it was perhaps a degree of wishful thinking on the part of Courier that it was in.
Stefan Edberg, the son of a policeman, 27 years of age now, and seated one place above his world ranking. And just look at that Grand Slam record. 2 Australians, runner-up in the French, 2 Wimbledons, and the US Open champion for the last 2 years.
Time.
And one of the nicest and most popular men in the game. And watching his wife Annette, who is expecting their first child later this month. And very proud they are. They've deliberately chosen not to know whether they're having a son or a daughter.
Thank you. 5-8.
3-2 with the break of serve.
Good serve here, kicks high and forces the high response, and that backhand volley is bread and butter to Stefan Edberg.
30 love. First service. $30-15.
Really rushed into this miss-hit return from Courier, mistimed it completely. Edberg, he's inclined to do this a little bit. Gets up there well, but in fact got up too high. Well, for Courier, the return of serve is paramount, and that was a good one. Enabled him to get up to this to hit the passing shot. And that whipped forehand is very extreme grip.
$40-30.
Serve almost looked as though it was going long, but Courier was right onto it.
Advantage Edberg. Yes.
First double fault, but he does have a reputation for serving double faults at crucial moments. A bit early in the match to describe that as a crucial moment, but it was still a game point for 4-2.
Advantage Edberg.
Courier thought it was a let.
Edberg leads 4-2.
Well, Edberg being much more successful, pushing forward to the net.
$15 love. 30 love. $30-15. $40-15.
Jim Courier trying to reduce the deficit to 3-4.
Very quick to seize the opportunity to get into the net, Edberg. So much easier to win the point from the net.
Ball change, please. New balls. Edberg leads 4-3.
Well, the game successfully in the bag there for Courier, but he has to work so hard to win the point. Now this is the final point. Serve into the forehand side, the weaker side of Edberg. A good reply. He's trying now to find a way of getting into the net. He does so with that shot down the line, and at full stretch plays the angle volley. But I feel today that at the moment Courier is a little bit unsettled. He's not quite got his eye in. He's intimidated by Edberg's incessant charges to the net, and of course he likes to build the point up rather more slowly than his opponent. His basic game has been honed on the cement courts in the United States, where you have to play several shots before you're into a point-winning situation. Now, against Edberg, he's immediately into making a decisive shot. He's making the shot, having to make the shot earlier in the rally than he would like, and consequently making a few errors. So it's Edberg to serve now. New balls. 4-3.
$15 love.
Well, every time into the net, Edberg. There's the volley into the backhand, and he's commanding the territory from the forecourt.
first service. (30-15).
Second double fault from Stefan.
(30 all).
Courier taking advantage of the two double faults.
Well, really charged up here, Courier. He's sharp onto this backhand. He's hit the best backhand there that we've seen from him in the entire match. So Stefan Edberg has really created a bit of a hole for himself in this game with those two double faults. It's break point.
Deuce.
Oh, this is a good serve, but this ball bounced a little bit higher than anticipated, right over the top of Courier's racket. It really leapt as it came off the turf.
Now, just look where Jim Courier plays this return. He is a yard inside the baseline, really taking it early. Second break point.
Deuce.
A slice serve to the forehand is a good idea as long as the opponent has to move much more than Courier had to, because the angle presented on the serve provides an equal angle in reply.
Deuce.
Well, he's really going for his shots, Courier. I consider himself a little bit unfortunate because it had got Edberg beaten. So that's 3 break points that have gone awry for Courier.
Advantage Courier.
But he has a fourth. Edberg really having to work, and when you think he was 30 love up in this game and coasting along nicely, the two double faults have really brought this man to life, and he's very pumped up in this game. Yes. Garris and Brad Stein.
4 games all.
Very pleased with the man they coach, having broken back.
Love 15.
Oh, a foot fault called. Now that's fairly rare for Jim Courier.
$15 all.
Gets himself out of trouble in this point with this angled slice, which really drops below the level of the net, and Courier has great difficulty with that low volley. A superb shot by Edberg.
$15-14.
Edberg's chance to restore the lead.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 5 games to 4, first set.
I think, to my mind, Mark, that demonstrated the difference in Stefan Edberg from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, having dropped his serve, his head would have hung. This time he says, okay, I've played a bad game. Now he gets straight back down to business.
Well, certainly his mental toughness is the word that describes the attitude these days. Has improved immensely over the years, and Tony Pickard has obviously contributed. There he is in the white cap, contributed immensely to enabling Stefan to get maximum performance out of his own game. But of course, on a surface like this, it's ideally suited to Stefan Edberg's style of play, his serve volley. A little bit fortunate, really, having played, I think, a very poor service game for a player of his caliber, 2 double faults and having been 30 love, to lose his serve. A little bit fortunate that Courier was so edgy on his own service game. And Courier quite clearly has not got good ball control. He's mishitting the ball quite a lot, particularly on his best wing, the forehand. The last shot that he played there in the rally, the relatively easy forehand, was a surprising error for him, which is indicative of him lacking confidence at this point in time. So that loss of serve now gives Edberg a chance to take the first set, 5-4.
Love.
A good angle volley to the backhand. Courier likes to play two hands, and he really has to stretch there. He played with just the one hand. He loses control.
Love. 40 love.
Three set points. Wow. It has become his Achilles heel, this serve. Remember a couple of years ago in Melbourne, he had match points against Ivan Lendl in the semi-finals of the Australian Open and promptly double faulted his way to defeat.
Extends to 4. Second set, Courier to serve. Love. 15 all.
That's a point that illustrates the difference in quality at the net. Edberg's able to make those half volleys. Courier just doesn't have the feel on the ball.
Thirty 15. All.
Moves forwards here. Just catches it behind his back. What improvisation. Korea's got to keep Edberg in the back court. He can't afford to serve the second serves because he's subjected to this type of punishment.
An immediate chance then.
Game Edberg. First game, second set.
Problems mounting for the American. And Mark, he must have known the tactics that were going to be employed against him, but he just hasn't been able to adjust his game to the speed of the ball coming at him.
The court is very fast. He played one match here against Stoltenberg, but the court is fast. And one of the tactics, of course, that Edberg is employing is the slice approach. And, of course, that's keeping the ball low. And Courier likes a high bouncing ball. He likes to get his racket underneath the ball. He's got these extreme grips, his two hands on the backhand, and he's well round on the forehand. So the racket has got to drop below the ball. That makes it very difficult when he's taking a low ball, which Edberg is giving him, to make the passing shots. And consequently, he's missing a lot of the passing shots. He's intimidated by Edberg, and of course, once you're intimidated and rushed into the ball, you tend to make many more mistakes. Edberg employing exactly the right tactics today, no question about it. And on his own serve, he's serving very smartly. He's managing to pin Courier down onto his backhand, where he does the least damage. So Edberg now set up and a break up in the second set. But whilst putting him down on the backhand, occasionally he serves wide to the forehand and wrong foots him there beautifully, just to keep Courier just on the guessing all the time.
Well, there's the serve to the backhand. It's a short return, and Edberg always in control of the point. And just to illustrate, there you are. Edberg, 63% of serves going to Courier's backhand.
Love. Game Edberg. Edberg leads 2 games to love.
Now, excellent timing, good throw of the racket, moving in so quickly. He has a big back arch, high ball toss. So that sometimes contributes to the occasional double fault. Courier having to work hard to win the point. It's a good backhand just inside the line, and that forced the angle reply with the easy volley. But he's having to take risks, a type of risk that he doesn't normally like to have to take.
A foot fault on the second
15.
serve.
Fifteen, 30.
Plays a very good volley right here, Courier on the baseline, and that half volley lob presented a fairly easy smash, but that volley that he played was so close.
Forty, 30. Game Courier. Edberg leads 2-1, second set by 1 set to love.
Courier will be pleased to have held on to that serve. Looked in a little bit of trouble, 15-30. But he, in my view, has to get a high percentage of first serves into play, because otherwise the second serve is going to be attacked by Edberg. Now, quite a different serve, this action. His narrow stance, his 2 feet very close together, a short take back, puts the ball up, and then look at the deep knee bend here, huge knee bend, and the power comes in this serve from the thrust upwards with the knees. Edberg has much more of an arch of the back. The ball toss way over to his left side, and there he's arching his back, he's leaning backwards, maintaining balance, whereas here Courier lifts up into the ball, throws his racket head at the ball, his left arm fairly low, whereas Edberg, he's throwing his racket head, but he's turned into the court just that little bit more than Courier, and allows him to follow through into the net more quickly than Jim Courier. Score 2-1, Edberg serving.
Love.
Serve into the body, into the backhand side. Now he moves very quickly, loses his balance, but Edberg not put off at all by this awkward fall. He does well, doesn't he, to get that ball back. He's been successful with this return, well inside the baseline at Courier. Short take back, just almost blocking the ball but it's on the second serve. He needs to get more first serves back into play.
30-15. Oh! 30 all.
Well, has difficulty controlling the return, but look, that backhand volley to Courier's double-handed backhand, as there's the volley, really punches it, generates the pace and the angle, which is to Courier's double-handed backhand.
Now he's made a return off the first serve.
Deuce.
Again, taking it early, on the rise, and Edberg not as far as in as he normally is. He normally gets well in behind the service line.
Advantage Courier.
Just as in the first set then, Edberg in danger of losing the lead. My word, what a return!
Such a tremendous competitor, Courier. Give him a chance, and he's likely to take it. And that was a superb forehand. Look at that forehand, a short take back, blocks the ball back with a little bit of topspin. So, a break of serve.
Love. Love. (30-15).
different.
This volley that is played here, my career, is a topspin drive volley. We see many more of those kinds of shots these days. The light rackets enable players to whip the racket through the ball to put the topspin on the drive volley.
Game Courier. Courier leads 3-2, second set. First set, Edberg.
Some signs in those last two games that Courier coming to terms with the problems being posed by Edberg?
Yes, I think to a large extent, though, Stefan Edberg has created problems for himself in the sense that, again, he served double fault on his own serve at a fairly important stage. But the serving percentage, I think, is quite significant here, because Stefan Edberg is reputed to have one of the best second serves in the game, and that's always been his great strength on grass courts, with very little difference between first and second serve. And there we can see the percentage points won is a mere 40% on his second serve, and I think that's contributing greatly to his apprehension in his whole game, not only at the net but particularly at the back of the court. Now, Jim Courier, 38% is low, but that is perhaps more predictable, that percent, because he's not a natural serve volleyer. He's staying back on his second serve, and at this stage he's actually probably pressing a little bit too much on his first serve to make an imprint on the Edberg return. But I think the second serve of Edberg is a key statistic in this match.
Having been 2-1 up, Edberg now serving 2-3 behind.
Well, this serve to the forehand is just that little bit harder, and Courier struggling to regain balance, not able to control the return.
Love.
Well, look at this for an improvised return from Courier, just whipping the racket back out of his face almost, and then a wonderful backhand drive.
Courier likes a high ball, and he takes it from chest height and drills it down the line.
.40-30.
It was a foot fault, and I think the only person who'd actually heard the call was Jerry Armstrong, the umpire.
Game Edberg. All change, please. New ball. 3 games all, second set.
The new balls being brought out. 3-all in the second set. And now we're at a fascinating stage. As Courier, having been a breakdown, has fought his way back and is pressing to get ahead, I think.
$15 love. $30 love.
Now he comes in behind that short ball, nearly makes it, just clips the top of the net.
$40 love. And Courier. Courier leads 4 games to 3. Second set, first set, Edberg.
Interesting now that it's Courier who's holding serve the more easily. He has conceded just 1 point in his last 2 service games. He's a very dedicated professional.
He certainly does. He works extremely hard and a tireless worker almost, and certainly in his quest to improve his game, rather like even Lendl in that regard. And he's prepared to take a gamble, as he's did on that last point, to come into the net, to do the things that he feels he has to do if he's going to stand a chance of winning. There we can just have a quick look at that serve. A good one into the body on the backhand side, and he moves in and really hits that volley very solidly, and that's an area of the game which his coaches have been working on, trying to just add those little touches. The coach in the second row behind Tony Pickard with the white caps, on the left Jose Higueras, and on the right Brad Stein. Higueras doesn't travel too much with him, only for the major tournaments, the Grand Slams, because he was a former player, semi-finalist of the French Championships some years ago. Highly experienced. But they'll be a little happier now, those two coaches, to see the score. 3-4.
$15 love. $15 all. $30-15.
enjoying these relatively short kicking second serves from Edberg. The ball's coming through just at the right height for him.
Oh, he was shouting bite, bite, bite. It did, in terms of the topspin, bringing it down before the baseline. Trouble is, it was out over the sidelines. Again, a good return from Courier, but varying it. He's been going cross-court. This time he goes down the line. And look at that.
Advantage Courier.
Well, that's extraordinary. Total miss-hit on the second serve. A 6-double fault from Edberg. And it's once again opened the door to his opponent. Break point.
Courier leads 5 games to 3.
Courier then to serve to level the match at 1-set-all.
Well, it's Edberg's
Love 15.
chance here to play that forehand cross-court for a winner. He really takes that early.
$15 all. $15-30.
frustration at the mid-hit winner.
But Edberg, yet again, comes in down the middle of the court, makes it harder to make the passing shot, but a bit fortunate with that miss-hit volley. Really frustration there for Courier, because that's 2 break points now for Edberg.
He's broken back.
Courier leads 5 games to 4, second set. First set, Edberg.
So Courier missing an opportunity now to take this second set, losing his serve for the 4th time in the match.
Time. Thank you,
Edberg then serving to save the set at 4-5. Where Stefan Edberg is now serving to save the set at 4-5 in the second set, having won the first, and it's 15 love. Signs of real tension for both men, because we've had an awful lot of unforced errors in this match, an awful lot of mistakes for the players ranked 2nd and 3rd in the world. It's on the line.
Well, this return has looked as though it's going a long way out, but the topspin just brings it down, hits the very back edge of the line. 30-all.
.30. First service.
uncharacteristic, this sort of mistake from Edberg. He's stiff, isn't he? No flexibility, no feel on the ball. Most unusual. All the signs of tension.
Advantage Edberg.
Yet again, from this side, Courier's backhand has been very effective. It's nearly always been the cross-court backhand.
What a remarkable pick-up from Courier.
Well, he's quick up to this little half volley. He did well, and it's just in. Edberg, hoping the ball was going to go out, just controls that ball, just directs it across the front of Edberg, and that's set point.
It's 1-all.
By 6 games to 4, 1-all.
Well, what an extraordinary set that was. There were 5 breaks of serve, 3 in a row at the end of it. And we've had 8 breaks of serve in the match.
Third set, Courier to serve.
Well, it's amazing what happens when the tension just drops a little bit. And Edberg there, one of the most versatile backhands in the game. It's one of the best shots he's hit in the entire match, that.
Fifteen all. No. 30-15.
Interesting to hear Courier call no as it floats past him, knowing that it was going out. And I've never seen Courier making all these, I've never heard him making all these little remarks. Fired up, chance of reaching his first Wimbledon final.
There's a forehand from the backhand side, which Courier loves to play, and he can't play that one again because the accuracy of Edberg's ground stroke sets him up for that forehand volley.
.30. Deuce. Advantage Courier. Deuce. Advantage Edberg.
Only a third double fault for Courier. But so many of these double faults have been on important points. And this is now break point.
Deuce.
Rehearsing what should have been an absolute bread and butter shot for him on his backhand. I mean, you would back an Edberg backhand 9 times out of 10 to at least make his opponent play the ball. Oh, yeah.
Edberg keeping Courier in the back of the court there with good deep ground strokes, but didn't anticipate a shot of this caliber. Look at the way he plays this. He whips his racket right across the front of his face there, like a windscreen wiper.
Deuce.
Fourth deuce, and this is now the longest game of the match so far, after an hour and 35 minutes.
Advantage Courier. Game Courier. First game, third set, 1 set all.
An 8-minute game to start the third set. Fascinating contrast between these two players in terms of their ground strokes. Edberg almost caressing the ball and Courier really bludgeoning it.
Yes, the contrast, I think, is in every aspect of their game, including the volleys too. But the backhands are worth comparing. And here we can see the Edberg. It's a one-handed shot, a nice shoulder rotation look, and a beautiful follow-through. Head fairly still as he hits the ball, eyes watching the ball all the time, and well on balance after hitting the ball, and that's very important that he's on balance. And there, Courier, 2 hands on the backhand, takes the racket back with the face open, gets his shoulders round, and whips through the ball, 2 hands working together. And interestingly, Edberg, when he was a junior, when he was 14 years of age, had a 2-handed backhand, but his coaches, Percy Roseberg at that time, decided that his game was serve volley, and therefore to have 2 hands on the backhand would restrict him getting into the net. And that was at the time they built his game as a serve volley player.
$15 love. $15 all.
Well, this shot here by Edberg, he's trying to get topspin on the ball. He just pushed it long. It is his weaker flank, the forehand. Hasn't been very successful with the wide serves. Edberg creates that opportunity to play the shot down the line. Look at that extreme grip, a quick whip of the racket across the ball. Well, this backhand return here has been so successful for Jim Courier. Just a quick flick, hardly any backswing at all.
Foot fault called as well as the ordinary fault, so it's a second serve at 2 break points. Oh, a little bit of luck.
Courier leads 2 games to love, third set.
Courier acknowledging the good fortune, but look now, Edberg just can't win the points on his second serve. It was 40%.
Well, it's hard to imagine a player of Edberg's caliber having difficulty with the shot that Courier now plays. This little dink of a shot there. He completely miscued it, didn't watch it at all.
Love. 40 love. Game Courier. Courier leads 3 games to love, third set. 1 set all.
Well, Stefan Edberg, maybe a change of shirt will bring a change of luck, but he's lost all confidence, all feel on his shots.
He certainly has, in all departments of the game, including his backhand. But this match really is a strange match. In a sense, I think that Edberg had a great chance in the early part to grasp it and didn't. And now Courier is really looking very strong, and particularly from the back of the court. And see the forehand winners 8-1. He hasn't played as many forehand winners as perhaps as one would expect, but that's because Edberg has really kept his shots tight to the backhand, and the response on the backhand has been an intimidating 16-1 backhand winners by Jim Courier. Played extremely well from the back of the court. Now, as to be expected, the strength of Edberg's game has been at the net, and there we can see the 18-5 in Edberg's favour. Fortunately for him, that's where he's managed to pick up most of his points. And somehow, though, Edberg has got to get a little bit more consistency with his backcourt game, making too many unforced errors. And the consequence of the unforced errors is that he's 3 love down in the third set.
Oh. 15 love.
The basics are just deserting Edberg at the moment. One always regards his backhand volley as the best in the world. Well reached.
Well, he stretches well here, just manages to get the ball over the net, and after he plays this little volley, I think we see him indicate that's the first one that he's made. like an express train here. Pounces on that one. Yes, it's almost real improvisation, isn't it, that volley? He required a good timing to make that work.
.30. Okay, Edberg. Courier leads 3-1. Love 15.
It's one of the few occasions that Courier has come into the net behind the second serve.
First serve.
Courier comes in behind that backhand. It's a deep one, and there, wrong foot. Stefan Edberg, good forehand volley, that one, changing the direction of the ball.
Stefan just querying, another very tight call indeed. He ghosted up to this drop volley and glided it down the line, but not on the line.
And Courier. Ball change, please. New balls. Ball change, please.
Jim Courier now playing with so much more confidence. That little volley he played behind Edberg, he got much closer into the net, much better feel on all his shots now.
Yes, I sense also that his second serve is hit now with more penetration and more confidence. And certainly the momentum is really well and truly outside Stefan Edberg's control at the moment. Just some of the easier shots are being missed by Stefan. court's getting kicked up just a little bit, and we can see the ground staff just picking up little bits of turf, which invariably are kicked up by the back foot on the serve being dragged and just taking the turf and kicking it into the court area. But these courts really are standing up to the championships, I think, extremely well, considering the weather has been absolutely superb. They've taken a lot of punishment, and the ball seems to be bouncing almost perfectly.
It's actually been watering them at night. What a difference in them normally getting soaked by rain. Edberg trying to puzzle out what's gone wrong. 1 set all and 1-4 and new balls. Courier really thought that was way long.
No, I know the machine gave it a good, but I mean, I thought it was a good hit out.
15 love.
Jerry Armstrong saying that he thought the serve was good, and I must confess, so did I. Unfortunately, Mr. Courier in the way for the replay, but my instant reaction was that the serve was on the line.
Wonders whether it'd be worth Edberg considering serving to the forehand, because that backhand is almost hitting that cross court with the same success all the time.
Yes.
First service.
Such a shame, what a great rally.
Good defensive play by Courier, forced a half volley there.
30-15.
Edberg trying to keep Courier at bay, and does so.
$40-15.
He pounces on the forehand, and just watch the backhand. On this occasion he hits a one-handed backhand, not the normal shot. Very hard, too hard for Edberg to control.
Courier leads 4 games to 2.
Well, that undoubtedly the best game of the match in terms of quality of play from both men. Just the one service break gives Courier that lead, and in a match of 9 service breaks so far, Edberg not without hope in this set.
Love 15. 15 all.
Well, we've seen precious few bad bounces here, but Edberg really surprised as that one kept very low indeed.
(30-15).
Courier has returned short, short of the service line, but what a bludgeoning forehand that was. Moves his feet so well and lifts his whole body into that ball.
Game Courier. Courier leads 5-2, third set, 1 set all.
Well, Courier really starting to see the ball like a football. And look at that drive volley shot, which is very much part of the modern game now. A lot of the young players throughout the world are employing that, the topspin drive volley. And that's a sign of real confidence for Jim Courier. Now Jim Courier just composing himself. He really has done well to turn this match around, because in the beginning he was looking rather frail.
Time.
Two-5 down is the Swede in this third set at 1 set all. They've been on court now for an hour and 58 minutes.
(15 love).
Edberg is vulnerable to a lob because he gets so close. Look how close to the net Edberg is, and that was a low trajectory lob.
(15-30).
The battle between the server and the returner is being won decisively at the moment by the returns.
(30 all). (40-30).
There it is again.
Deuce.
It's almost faultless, that shot, isn't it?
Advantage Edberg.
It's a good return, but Courier lunges at this. Really has a good smile.
Advantage Courier.
From bad to worse, Courier has set point, and Edberg so lost confidence that he even stayed back behind his second serve. He's extra on the Courier.
By 6 games to 2. Courier leads 2 sets to 1.
Well, of course, Sunday is the 4th of July. Could we be heading for an All-American final?
Thank you. Quiet, please. 4th set. Courier to serve. Quiet, please. $15 love. $30 love. $40 love. $40-15. First game, fourth set.
Well, this last point was vintage Courier. He's so good at putting away the mid-court ball with the big forehand. Doesn't hesitate at all, just whacks it. May not be pretty, but my word, it's effective. Well, Stefan Edberg thinking about changing rackets, but he's got to change something pretty quickly here, Mark.
Yes, it's a bit of a nightmare for him, this match. He was, of course, at one stage a set and 2 love up, and now he's really fighting for his life. And tension, of course, is the worst enemy of any tennis player, probably any sportsman for that matter, but particularly for him, who relies on reflex and instinct, particularly at the net. And here he is, almost playing on the conscious instead of the unconscious, and making all sorts of mistakes, uncharacteristic mistakes. But he's a great fighter. He's not going to give up. He's one of the great sportsmen of the game, and over the last 10 years has performed so well here. But he's going to battle on and hope that he can find his timing. And his coach there, Tony Pickard, radiating positive, encouraging thoughts, asking him to relax, go for his shots, free up. Love one.
Out. 15 love. Love.
Only his 4th ace of the match.
Love. Game Edberg. One game off. Love.
That second serve struck at 98 miles an hour, and that again is a sign of the growing confidence that Courier has.
Confidence rising with Courier. This occasion he comes in and plays a very good volley, well angled, short of the baseline.
Right into the junction of baseline and sideline. If he'd had a laser to direct this shot, he couldn't have been better.
(40-15).
Well, I'm surprised by that call, I have to say.
Courier leads 2-1.
No querying from Edberg, but I thought the return actually clipped the back of the line. But we remain on serve in this fourth set.
Yes, that ball, I agree, was very close. A lot of dust on the baseline now, which is to be expected at this time of the tournament, where behind the baseline the grass is starting to wear, and there's a lot of soil there. But Courier really starting to find his form, particularly on the forehand. It's a shot that's improved a lot in the last few games, and in many ways is his strength, and finding the range, the depth. We've seen mistakes in the early part of the match, so the problems really are starting to escalate for his opponent Edberg, and now he's got to find something a little extra, because the confidence that was lacking in Courier's game at the beginning of the match is now gone. He's no longer tentative. He's seeing the ball well. Few mishits now coming from his racket. A lot of winners. So Edberg to serve 1-2 in this fourth set.
No call, and Courier amazed.
15 love.
Now he's moving forwards, takes that ball chest height. Slight mishit this time, but accurate, just on the line.
(30-15).
Serving so much better now, Edberg. Good deep serve and difficult overhead, but he handles that very confidently.
And Edberg. Two games all.
Edberg staying with his opponent in this fourth set, and that's what he has to do, in the hope that Courier might just begin to tense up at the prospect of reaching a first Wimbledon final.
15 love. Love. Game Courier. Courier leads 3 games to 2, fourth set by 2 sets to 1.
Well, in a match that's had so many breaks of serve, 10, this fourth set has now become totally dominated by the serve.
Yes, just 3 points in 5 games have gone against the serve. I suspect actually both players have relaxed a little bit, and particularly Stefan Edberg. His serve has improved out of sight. Edberg, in fact, he served three of his 6 aces in this set, and they occurred in 2 games, which is quite an interesting change. And I suspect that is a dangerous sign for Courier. If Edberg can maintain this more relaxed state, then he could perhaps create some damage, particularly on the Courier serve. Of course, in the earlier part of the match, he was very successful in taking Courier's serve early, slicing it and coming into the net. He hasn't had the confidence to do that over the last couple of sets. So the score is 2-3. And it's Edberg to serve.
Love 15.
Well, the returning from this court, the advantage court by Courier, has been exemplary. That was a forehand return. We've seen so many backhand returns, outright winners, but there, that was a forehand. Must be tantalizing for Edberg.
Good low backhand volley there to deny Courier. (15-30). Brave smash. Had a lot of time to think about that one.
Not an easy shot. It was a 30-all point too. Look how deep that smash was, forcing the error from Courier.
Edberg doing very well to hold on to his serve from love 30 and second serve.
Love.
Well, Edberg left it, and it landed plumb on the line.
30 love.
A return by Edberg. Couldn't be much closer. Both players using the full dimensions of the court.
First service. Second service.
A slugging rally, this one. Both players hitting him hard. That was a good slice approach down the middle of the court, and he nearly got caught. Didn't quite anticipate the overhead being quite so low. Very often those low smashes are difficult to handle.
Game Courier. Courier leads 4 games to 3, fourth set, and by 2 sets to 1.
So the domination of the serve continuing in this fourth set. But one has the feeling that Stefan Edberg has now got to do something exceptional to stop Jim Courier, because Courier is looking very confident. Very few errors now coming from his racket. He's also being a little bit more enterprising and coming into the net at the right time, varying his play. There's no signs of brittleness that existed in the early part of the match.
Time.
And Stefan Edberg serving. Signs on that delicate low volley that Stefan's beginning to feel the ball again, getting his touch back.
Well, certainly hit with authority, that serve, and so was the volley, but Courier was waiting for it.
(30-15). Second set. (40-15). Game is over. Four games over.
And now one feels we're really into the heart of this contest. The American, 2 games away from his first Wimbledon final, but it's still a huge gulf between him and that final.
There's the whip forehand down the middle of the court. Now, this is short, the half-court ball, which Courier enjoys playing so much. Tense rally this. Courier coming into the net and plays a really good backhand volley because it was a difficult shot.
40 love.
Something special.
Sharp onto this return, moves in so quickly Edberg, and plays the most delightful little drop volley.
That's only the third point against the Courier serve. Edberg's one in this set. One of the other two was a double fault. Edberg comes alive. What a wonderful return.
Game Courier. Courier leads 5 games to 4, fourth set, by 2 sets to 1.
So there the three coaches, Tony Pickard for Stefan Edberg in the front, and behind him Jose Higueras and Brad Stein, and contrasting emotions obviously. One man, one game from victory, the other one from defeat, but Courier has really come to terms with this match, just as he's come to terms this year with the requirements of grass court play.
He's certainly looking very confident. He's not intimidated now like he was in the early part of the match. He's able to swing freely, and he's made an awful lot of winners from the back of the court, a tremendous number of winners from the back of the court. And now his serve is very much more solid. Of course, he's now only got to break Edberg's serve to take him into the final. But having said that, Edberg, his game has improved too. He's only lost 4 points in this set on his serve.
Thank you. Quiet, please.
Serving to save the match.
Love 15. Love 13.
Two superb returns of serve. Oh, a clean ace and called a foot fault. Edberg is often foot faulted. His right foot tends to come through and clip the line. It's a double.
Love 14.
Three match points.
Thank you. Quiet, please. Thank you. $15-14.
Really had to find a wonderful volley to save the match point. Well played.
Thank you. Quiet, please. Thank you. Advantage Courier.
Match point for the fourth time. Courier break a string on the return.
Well, when playing this hard forehand, he broke the string. And that's, well, what an inappropriate time for him to break a string. So 4 match points have been saved by Stefan Edberg.
Courier has to face a fifth.
Well, Courier really rises to the occasion here, plays one of the finest backhands that we've seen in the entire match, to give him yet another match point.
Thank you. Quiet, please. Thank you.
That's it. There'll be a new name on the Wimbledon trophy this year. And on the 4th of July, it'll be an all-American day.
Courier wins 3-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-2, 6-4.